For centuries, Jerusalem has been a city wrapped in mystery, prophecy, and destiny. Empires have risen and fallen around it. Kings have fought and died for it. And yet, it remains the heartbeat of biblical prophecy. But what if I told you that right now, in our time, something ancient and sealed for generations is stirring, something that connects directly to the return of the Messiah, to the end times, to the very moment the Bible says history will change forever. The world may not be paying attention, but those who watch the signs know that something extraordinary is happening. At the eastern wall of Jerusalem's old city stands a gate unlike any other. While other entrances have been rebuilt, renovated, and reopened through the centuries, this one has remained shut, sealed by stones and silent. It is known by many names: the Eastern Gate, the Gate of Mercy, the Golden Gate. To most tourists, it is just another piece of history. But for believers, it is far more. It is the threshold where heaven and earth will meet again. According to prophecy, this is the very gate through which the Messiah will one day enter Jerusalem. Christians believe Jesus himself will return through it. Jewish tradition declares their awaited Messiah will pass through it. Even Islamic texts recognize its significance. 3 faiths, 3 perspectives, 1 gate. For nearly 500 years, this gate has been locked tight. Ottoman sultans ordered it sealed in the 16th century, fearful of prophecies that declared a conquering figure would arrive from the east and change history forever. To make sure, they even placed a cemetery in front of it, believing no holy man could cross through. But prophecy cannot be stopped by stones or graves. Prophecy waits patient, moving in silence until the exact appointed time. And now, whispers are spreading that the silence may finally be breaking. Local reports suggest something is shifting in the sealed chambers of the golden. Unexplained lights flickering behind the stones, voices in prayer heard where no one should be, unusual tremors in the earth along the ancient fault line that runs from the Mount of Olives directly to this gate. Seismologists record microquakes in the region they cannot fully explain. Stonemasons who have examined the gate say it seems impossibly preserved, as though time itself refuses to touch it. Officials remain silent, and the mainstream media does not report it. But those who watch for signs know silence often speaks louder than headline. Why is this so significant? Because the Bible describes in Zechariah that in the last days, the Lord's feet will stand upon the Mount of Olives, facing Jerusalem from the east. The mountain will split in two, and from there, he will enter. This gate is the exact entrance that aligns with that prophecy. It was the path Jesus himself took 2,000 years ago, when he rode a donkey into Jerusalem, fulfilling Zechariah 9:9. That day he entered as the humble servant. The next time, prophecy says, he will come as king of. The very same gate will open again, not to a lamb of sacrifice, but to the Lion of Judah. Think about this. Every attempt to tamper with this gate has been mysteriously blocked. Ottoman engineers tried to alter it, tools broke, projects failed. Muslim leaders in 1917 planned to demolish it, but the exact day the plan was to begin, British forces captured Jerusalem and stopped it. In 1967, Israel had the power to open it after the Six-Day War, but rabbis warned only the Messiah may enter, and the plan was abandoned. In the 1990s, peace negotiators wanted to use the gate as a symbol of reconciliation. But the night before the ceremony, both Israeli and Palestinian leaders reported the same dream. A figure standing before the gate saying, "Not yet." The event was cancelled. Over and over again, history records failed attempts, unexplained delays, leaders changing their minds overnight, as though a greater power was guarding the gate until its appointed moment. And now, 5 centuries later, the gate shows signs of awakening. Voices heard in sealed chambers, lights with no natural source, increasing tremors along the fault line beneath the Mount of Olives, and still, complete silence from authority. No explanations, no denials, just silence. And silence, in moments like this, is itself a statement. Could it be that prophecy is stirring again, quietly, waiting for those with eyes to see? The alignment is too precise to ignore. From the Mount of Olives, you look directly at the Golden Gate. From the gate, you look directly at the Mount of Olives. The two are connected not only in sight, but in geology, made of the same limestone formation, joined by the same fault line. When Zechariah wrote that the mountain would split in two, he was describing something that modern seismologists now confirm, a geological fault that runs directly to the prophetic gate. Science is only now catching up to what Scripture declared thousands of years ago. But prophecy is never just about geography, it's about timing. The Bible says Jerusalem will be the center of world attention in the last days. And look around. Every major conflict, every political negotiation, every headline about the Middle East somehow circles back to this small city, this single piece of land, this one gate. Nations rage, leaders argue, alliances form and fall, but the focus remains the same: Jerusalem. Zechariah 12 banding Tiger declared it would be a heavy stone for all nations, immovable, unshakable. And that is exactly what we see today. Meanwhile, other prophecies are aligning. The Jewish people have returned from exile in numbers never seen before, fulfilling promises written in Isaiah and Ezekiel. The Sanhedrin has been re-established. Temple instruments have been recreated. Red heifer candidates have been raised, awaiting their moment of sacrifice. Each of these pieces may seem small on their own, but together they form a prophetic puzzle converging with the sealed gate of Jerusalem. The stage is being set. Skeptics will say these are coincidences, random events that can be explained away by history, politics, or science. But prophecy is never about single, isolated events. It is about convergence. It is about signs coming together in one place, at one time, just as the Bible said they would. The Golden Gate's silence has been its sermon for 500 years. Its stillness has testified more powerfully than words that prophecy cannot be rushed, cannot be manipulated by human hands, cannot be fulfilled prematurely. But now, that silence is beginning to stir. The question is not whether the gate will open. The question is when and by whom. Because prophecy makes one thing clear: it will not open by the will of man. It will open only for the one who holds the keys of life and death, the one who conquered the grave, the one who is coming in. When that moment comes, no stone, no grave, no empire will be able to stand in the way. The gate that has resisted every human attempt will yield only to the King of Kings. As we look at these developments, the tremors, the voices, the lights, the silence of officials, the increasing alignment of nations, the preparations in Israel, we are forced to ask, is the countdown already underway? Could it be that the stirring of this ancient threshold is the whisper before the shout, the inner awakening before the outer revelation? Jesus warned that his return would be like the days of Noah, life continuing as normal, right up until the moment everything changed. Could it be that we are closer to that sudden change than anyone dares to imagine? I don't tell you this to create fear, but to open your eyes. Prophecy is not meant to paralyze us. It is meant to prepare us. It is a message of hope, mercy, and redemption. The very name of this gate in Hebrew, Harosh means, when it opens, it will not be for wrath alone. It will be for mercy, for the ultimate fulfillment of God's promises to his people and to the world. So now I turn to you. What do you think about these signs? Do you believe the stirring of the Golden Gate is truly a prophetic signal, or just coincidence? Leave your thoughts below. I read every comment. And if you have watched this far, write the phrase, "The gate is awakening," in the comments, so I know you are among those who are truly watching the signs. There are moments in history when silence becomes louder than any speech, when what is not said speaks more than what is declared. And Jerusalem is living such a moment right now. While the attention of the world drifts from one crisis to another, something subtle yet profound is happening in the heart of the holy city. It is not on the front pages of newspapers, nor is it broadcast on television screens. It moves like a shadow, quietly yet persistent, forcing those who pay attention to ask questions that cannot easily be answered. Why does this ancient city, without great armies or vast natural resources, remain at the center of global tension and prophetic expectation? Why do so many threads of history, politics, faith, and even geology seem to converge on the same few square meters of land? Think about how many rulers and empires have passed through Jerusalem, each attempting to control its destiny, and yet the city itself resists them. Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome, the Ottomans, the British, all have come and gone, but the stones of the old city remain, whispering a story written long before they arrived. It is as if Jerusalem itself carries within its walls a memory of what was promised, and it waits with a patience that humans cannot match. This is not just another city. It is a stage prepared for a drama larger than politics, larger than religion, larger than time. In recent years, more and more reports have surfaced of unusual phenomena around Jerusalem, events that leave scientists scratching their heads and believers shaking with anticipation. Strange trumpet-like sounds recorded in the skies, sudden storms forming over the city with almost theatrical timing, unexplained lights captured on camera around sacred sites. Each one could be dismissed on its own, but together they form a pattern too precise to ignore. The prophets of old spoke of signs in the heavens, of the earth trembling, of nations in uproar. What once seemed distant and symbolic now feels immediate, tangible, unfolding before our eyes. The Golden Gate itself is only one piece of this larger mosaic. Its sealed stones may be stirring, but around it, the entire landscape is alive with prophetic resonance. The Mount of Olives, long identified as the place where the feet of the Messiah will one day stand, shows increasing seismic activity. Geologists note tiny tremors that align directly with the fault line running beneath the mountain toward the eastern wall. These are not random quakes, they are concentrated along the very path prophecy says will split wide open in the final days. Imagine that the earth itself preparing for an arrival, the ground rehearsing for a moment when history will shake to its core. Archaeology, too, continues to confirm the scripture. Every excavation around Jerusalem uncovers pieces of a story once dismissed as myth. Names of kings etched into stone sealed, remnants of walls described in the Old Testament, even ancient ritual objects that mirror those mentioned in Exodus and Kings. Each discovery adds weight to the claim that the Bible is not only spiritually true, but historically precise. And if it is precise about the past, what does that say about its promises for the future? The stones seem determined to testify, as if refusing to let the truth be buried any longer. Beyond the stones and the soil, there is the human element, the return of scattered people to their ancient homeland. In the past century, millions of Jewish men and women from over 100 nations have come back to Israel, fulfilling a prophecy written thousands of years ago. Families wept as they kissed the ground at Ben Gurion Airport. Children learning Hebrew once thought lost. Entire communities restored to the land promised to their ancestors. Ezekiel's vision of dry bones coming to life was not just poetry. It was a glimpse of exactly what we are seeing today. And when the tribes return, when the language is revived, when the land blooms again after centuries of desolation, how can anyone ignore the weight of prophecy coming alive? Even global politics reflects this convergence. Nations gather in councils and assemblies, passing resolution after resolution about Jerusalem, as if the fate of the world depends on this tiny strip of land. Why does the United Nations dedicate more attention to Israel than to any other country on earth? Why do leaders speak with such caution whenever Jerusalem is mentioned? Could it be because deep down they sense, whether they admit it or not, that this city is not theirs to control? Zechariah described Jerusalem as an immovable stone, and we are watching that prophecy play out in real time. Every attempt to force its destiny ends with nations staggering, alliances crumbling, plans dissolving into dust. What is most chilling and most awe-inspiring is how these events move in layers. Prophecy does not unfold with trumpets blasting across the evening news. It creeps forward in whispers and subtle signs, recognized only by those who are awake. A gate stirring behind sealed stones, a fault line trembling beneath ancient hills, lights flickering in darkened chambers, dreams shared by leaders on opposite sides of conflict, silence from authorities who normally rush to explain everything. Each moment feels small, but together they point to something enormous just beneath the surface. And while these signs accumulate, the world continues with business as usual. People wake, work, eat, sleep, scrolling endlessly through their devices. While history accelerates around them, Jesus said his return would come like the days of Noah, when life went on as if nothing were wrong, right up until the flood came. That parallel feels uncomfortably close. We live in an age when distractions are endless, skepticism is fashionable, and the supernatural is mocked. Yet for those who pay attention, the signs are unmistakable. The countdown is not written on our calendars, but etched into the stones of Jerusalem, whispered through the tremors of the Mount of Olives, pulsing in the silence of a sealed gate. The deeper we look, the more connections emerge. The same prophecies that speak of the Messiah's return through the Eastern Gate also describe nations gathering against Israel, natural disasters increasing, and the gospel being spread to the ends of the earth. All of these are happening simultaneously in ways previous generations could hardly imagine. Technology now allows every eye to witness global events instantly, just as Revelation foresaw. Wars and rumors of wars dominate headlines. Natural catastrophes grow in frequency and intensity. And yet, in the center of it all stands Jerusalem, holding secrets that refuse to remain buried. For 5 centuries, the Golden Gate has preached in silence. For millennia, the Mount of Olives has waited in quiet strength. For generations, prophecy has lingered in sacred text, waiting for the moment of fulfillment. And now, it feels as though all these threads are tightening, pulling us closer to a moment that will change everything, not by human hands, not by political deals, but by divine appointment. Stones, graves, nations, and armies cannot prevent what has been written. When the appointed time comes, the gate will open, the mountain will split, and the world will never be the same again. So ask yourself, why now? Why are so many signs converging in our lifetime? Why is this city, sealed and silent for centuries, suddenly alive with mystery? Could it be that the gate of mercy is stirring not to frighten us, but to remind us? Could it be that every tremor, every whisper, every unexplained light is heaven's way of saying that the time of waiting is nearly over? The world may laugh, the media may ignore it, governments may stay silent, but prophecy does not depend on their recognition. Prophecy moves with precision, and prophecy always fulfills what it promises. If you have followed this far, you already know something others are ignoring. These are not random coincidence, they are convergence. They are reminders that the story of history is not written by empires, but by the one who ordains the end from the beginning. And perhaps the stirring of this ancient gate is his way of telling us that the greatest chapter is about to unfold. If you have connected with this message, make sure to subscribe now, so you don't miss what comes next. Because not everyone will have access to what is about to be revealed. If you stayed with me until the end, write in the comments, "I am awake," so I will know you are among the few who are truly watching the signs. Leave your like as a mark that you are part of this moment, and stay right here, because another video is already waiting on the screen. What is inside, it is not for everyone, but for those who are ready, it may be the most important revelation yet.